And happy Lou Brooks' birthday. Couldn't resist, Lou, sorry. Welcome to the town hall meeting for July. We have a couple of things update-wise to provide with you. Nothing extravagant or extraordinary. It's July 3rd. It's the federal holiday. We were bouncing back and forth whether or not it's something that we should postpone or push off, but we figured we got a thing or two to share and might as well hear some feedback or questions if you have them. So we'll see how things go today. Sound good? Yeah. All right. So, looking at the three solid faces over there, who wants to lead off? I can go. Christina.
I always did my presentations first in school so that I could just sit back and relax. Hello, everyone. So I just wanted to share, if I'm sure people have seen it by now, but on the weekly menu, we added some stuff. So on the back of the menu, there's a news and notes section now. We put a lot of information up on the screens in the app, but people are always saying to us, we want to understand more, see what's going on, we're missing things. So there's a news and notes section on here. So we're going to talk about upcoming events. Right now for next week, it says, stop by Freddy's, try our new daily breakfast specials, and starting Monday, we're going to do eggs to order out there every day. So all that stuff is going to be on the back of the menu. We also have a fun food fact that we're going to play around with, so if you have any, let us know. We'll put it on there. And then also we're highlighting, Sodexo has a mindful program. So what it is, and I'll read it to you, it is mindful is a holistic approach to health and well-being. It promotes vibrant, delicious, and on-trend dishes that are good for you and the planet. Mindful reminds us that food is life and enjoy health. So what that means is it's not necessarily the most healthy dishes that you could ever get, but they're mindful choices. So just if you're looking for a little bit of an extra, let's put it this way, it's not broccoli cheddar casserole, that's a mindful dish, okay? But some of these things will still have butter in them. There still could be some salt, things like that, but they're just more mindful choices. There's also a key on here that shows you what's vegetarian, what's gluten-free, what's heart healthy, and what's mindful. All right, so just wanted to let you all know about that. We do have some upcoming things in July. They will be on the menu, but we're gonna have a chef dinner coming up, so that will be something that will be on the back of the menu, and you can make reservations for that. That'll be more towards the end of the month. We're also gonna jazz up our ice cream station. So the golden waffles that are out here, we can also make waffle bowls for ice cream, so we're gonna start doing that. Trying to get all the kids to get excited when they come visit and make you get them ice cream. So that's the goal. Also for you, of course. And then we also heard a lot of feedback about the smash burgers and people wanted them again. So Lou started saying, sure, we'll do it next week. So we're gonna do it again next week. So you'll see that coming around as well. That won't make it on the menu, but we'll put that up on the screens. All right? Yeah.
The Wednesday lunch special.
Mhm.
It's only shown on the screen by the cashier. Is that correct?
The weekly lunch special, the chef stage, is on the screen by the cashier, and we don't usually put that up on Touchtown, right? Do you ever see it up there? Yeah, we can. We'll start what'd you say? Okay. I'll make sure it's on all of the platforms all the time. We had an issue last week. Nothing would upload for us. It was a beyond our control issue with Visual Touch that we got fixed, but we'll make sure it's on all the platforms. That's a good one. Luke's been really good about getting us that information ahead of time, so that was a good one.
Is there any possibility of going totally to the new food containers to take home and not use any styrofoam?
She's asking if we can do no more styrofoam. I think it's a great idea. I hope that we're there one day. It's not all of the residents are prepared at this time to return those containers. Some people enjoy taking the styrofoam home and throwing it out. So at this time, we're not making that change fully, but who knows, in the future, maybe. I love them. I hope we have to buy a lot more. Yeah. Welcome to Coffee and Conversation. Sorry. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. I hate to add one more thing to the menu because I think labeling what things are is a terrific idea.
Thank you.
but there are quite a few diabetic people here, and there's no mention of how many carbs or whatever these foods are. So I'm wondering, I bet there are more diabetic people than vegans, you know. So I
So-
don't know how you would incorporate it, but I think it's an important thing.
So on the back end, we just changed, none of our recipes changed, but where we're getting our recipes from did change. The system that we're using, same recipe numbers, different program. It's very easy to print nutritionals out from there, and they're very easy to read. So starting on Monday, we will have, we already have on the menu, it says see the cashier for nutrition information. We will have updated ones on Monday. So if you have any questions about sugar and things like that, you can look at the pages at the cashier. So there'll be a binder up there. Next. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Yesterday was, I don't know if you came to any of the events yesterday, but they were great. I was thinking on campus across the board. I mean, to the readers who read, to having stronger memory in the morning for those that attended, to the whole patriotic service. Dan is off today, but I do want to give a shout out to him and the time he put into that. If you see him around, I did let him know, but that was exceptional. So thank you for all your participation and all of you coming out to support. So first up, stronger memory. Yesterday we had such a great crowd show up in a very small fireside compared to the crowd numbers, and it was also quite warm in there. But we are excited about Stronger Memory. It's the new brain health program that we're going to be using here at Frederick Living, one of our sources. I do want to let you know that next Thursday, just so we're clear, we do have it on the yellow sheet too. Because of the class size, we are going to meet in the auditorium at 11 o'clock. So arthritis class will meet at 10:30 in here. So we will not get in till 11. You can chill out in Freddy's till then. If you love arthritis class but also want to participate in Stronger Memory, you can do both. But we are making that shift so we're more comfortable when we're doing the Stronger Memory. We did have a lot of people order or request an order for the workbooks. We don't anticipate they would probably be in by next Thursday, but we do expect them hopefully pretty soon. So the workbooks, if you wanted a workbook for this, weren't there yesterday, or just want more information on Stronger Memory, please see me or Dan or Tammy. All three of us are helping to support that, and we'd be happy to get you that information. So that's on that, and we're moving to 11 o'clock auditorium Thursday, so keep your eye out on the slides and stuff. The books are $20, and if you want one, just let me know. It will get billed on your statement. All right, secondly, Garden Spot Community app. So we did shut down the Frederick Living app on July 1st as planned. So if you are kind of, I didn't get there in time and kind of stuck, come talk to me. I'll get you over to the new app. We are really glad that the vast majority of you were able to transition to the new app. We also added the celebration section that we wanted to get in there. So in the celebration section, it's going to tell you birthdays, anniversaries, and also celebration of life, those individuals who have passed. So that could be helpful to you if you're trying to put a face to a name or just wanting to look into that. So that's something new on there. If you're having any trouble with the app, just reach out to me. It's still like a work in progress kind of as we build on it over time, or if you have ideas. In the directory, celebrations. Okay. Do most people see it on the app? Yes. Okay, so it might be somewhat different. Oh, okay, no problem. It's under resident celebrations. All right. Lastly, we have a special event coming on September 19th. It's our 130th celebration of Frederick Living. So 130 years we've been around. We're going to have a really nice celebration day from 10 to 2 p.m. Some things you can expect on campus that day. Quaker Down Band will be here. Modified amount a little bit because we are going to put them in here. So we did reduce the number, mostly because the weather is always up in the air. So you want to come up with plans for that. We'll have games if the weather's good. Hot air balloon rides. A petting zoo is coming. PA Dutch baked goods, raffle baskets, and much, much more. So this is open to the wider community. This is a celebration of us being here for 130 years, and we want to celebrate that. We want that as part of the community. There will be some t-shirts at some point and more information on that because we're going to try to do a picture again of 130. So keep your eyes out on more information on those and orders for those. But mark your calendars, September 19th. It's a Saturday from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. So more information to come on that. All right. Al?
Well, good morning. Who's excited about the 250-year birthday of America? I am super excited. First of all, you know that our Constitution is like one of the oldest. Most of the constitutions last 50 years or less. Ours have withstand the time. And I'm super excited because our country is so diverse, so unique, so beautiful. The 3 weeks that I went out in the country, my family and I really enjoy seeing the diverse population, the people. People is friendly everywhere that you go. As long as you are nice and you make a conversation, you start. I mean, we were like super excited. We didn't want to come back because it is just awesome seeing our country. And also, I can't even imagine 250 years ago, that group of people in a day like today in Philadelphia, in that room, with the doors closed, wool jackets, big hats, those wigs, yep, sweating, with their lives on the line. Because you know that people in there were just a target. And they did it. And here we are today talking about it 250 years later, enjoying the liberties and the freedoms that we enjoy today. So I am super excited for these 250 years of the U.S. And the celebrations here have been incredible too. Like I've seen all the decorations, all the stuff that has been happening. It really makes me proud also of working here at Frederick. So you guys make that happen. So thank you. I just have a couple updates. The electric bills for the cottages. We had so far around 36 residents that are interested in knowing more. We have all the information that we need already for those 36. We talked to the energy consultant last week. Everything looks great on paper right now. We talked to the CFO, Nate, last week also, and he's getting his team ready because we want to individualize the bills for each person that is currently living here. So he's getting his team ready in order for whoever wants to sign up. Again, this is a volunteer basis. We hope that all 36 and more will join us because the energy consultant says that the more people that we have, the better rates he can get. And not only that, he's able to lock those rates for a year. So low rates, locked in. Doesn't matter what happens with energy, we'll be locked in for at least a year in those low rates. I think that's a pretty good deal to me. The numbers so far look great. So Mike and I will be putting a final proposal to meet each person that have expressed interest, show them what it's going to be, and hopefully we get them on board. Now, we can lock the prices in and we can't do anything until we get permission from you, and then we have to call or get hold of PICO so we could transfer the accountants do the name, and then once all those transfer to Frederick's name, once all those are transferred to Frederick's name, that's when he's able to lock in those prices. And he doesn't foresee any big changes because he said that the prices are very stable right now. So even though the numbers that he gave us last week, he thinks that they'll pretty much be set for another month or so. So as soon as we get that information in, the better for him. Yes.
Did you by any chance, sorry, did you by any chance talk to the customers of this organization in similar situations, like retirement communities, to see after they've been using it for how many years, how stable they are with that? Are they still happy with it?
I haven't personally talked to anyone, but I know that Garden Spot, that's how they always done it, and everybody seems to be happy. They don't see the fluctuation on prices. It's always the same price year round, no matter what. So they don't even. So we won't be itemizing for future residents. There won't be like an itemized section that says this is how much you spend for electricity. It'll be just included in their monthly bill. So that's pretty much out of the people's minds how much I'm spending because you won't see it.
No, I just wondered if they actually went out to people that have been using it for years, rather than just read the reviews.
Yes. No, we have not consulted anyone. I don't think Mike has either. So
See if Garden Spot actually did that?
I can check, but I think that it's always been included. But I could check with Nate to see if it was one way and then the other. Yeah. The second thing I came prepared to talk about, it was Bates Landscaping. I know there was a lot of questions last time about mowing and the height of the grass. So I did talk to them. They said the grass gets cut at different heights depending on the weather and the location, just like we on the type of grass. So the hotter it gets, like right now, the less they mow the grass. So you probably won't see them much mowing grass in the next few weeks because the grass actually goes dormant and they don't want to disturb it because then it kills the grass. And then you see all those tracks on the lawn that looks like a baseball field. So we don't want to do that. So what they do during the next few weeks, you probably see them doing pruning, edging, weeding, that kind of stuff more than running. Yeah, so they just emailed me this morning saying, you probably won't see it. We probably skip next week because the grass is very dormant right now. So they don't want to keep messing around with that. Hold on, let me finish real quick. So I just want to make sure I got my notes. So pruning, weeding, edging, and detail work to keep the community looking good. That's pretty much what they're here for. We're paying them to, hey, even though we are paying you and you don't see them, they're still trying to keep our community looking the best it can with dry grass. But if the weather changes, we start getting more rain, the grass will start growing, then they will be coming back to mow some more. Lou?
They haven't, as far as I know, they haven't done any weed killing around, but one thing they have to be careful of is if some people have plants that look like weeds, that they don't spray them. The other thing that I talked to Greg about a while ago was as plants grow, every once in a while, especially walnut trees, they'd be buried by the squirrels and they start growing. And instead of them taking them out, they break them off. So they just get deeper and deeper and deeper. And it's a little bit of a job to do that, but they really should look to do that in the middle of plants. Okay. Some places they've taken the plants out completely, like the media, so you don't have to worry about it there anymore. But they have to be more aware of people's plants when they do spray to kill the weeds.
Yes, thank you for that, because I know that's even the crew in Garden Spot, sometimes they be pulling what it looks like a weed, but it is not a weed, and then we have to replant them because, oh, you just pull somebody's plants off. So yes, I'll make sure that they are careful, and if you see something that you planted that is not there anymore, let us know right away so we could take care of it. Any other questions about either of those things?
Do they trim stuff in the courtyard as well?
On this courtyard, yes, they do. Ryan also tries to take care of it. I know that Ryan has been indoors a lot lately because of the weather. But if you see anything, all you have to do is give us a call, and we'll either send somebody in-house, or next time that the Bates is here, we let them know to take care of it. Mike?
Thanks, Al. Okay, 3 brief things from me. I just had a conversation before this started with Kay Ross. She is the Oak Tree 3rd floor representative for Fellrow. I'm looking at Al and I, we have a conversation next week with an interior designer that is going to assist us with the freshening up of Oak Tree 3rd floor. So what we're going to do is we're going to work with this individual. We're going to get a couple of designs and a couple of strategies that we're going to share with Oak Tree residents, particularly 3rd floor residents, get their input, get their feedback, and then act appropriately to fix up the 3rd floor that we have been discussing for a couple of years now. But this is the time. As we said, it would happen next fiscal year. Next fiscal year started Wednesday. So we're on it. All right? We're not going to forget this one, and we're not going to let this one go. So just giving you that heads up. We'll be in touch with Kay, and we'll coordinate from there. Sound good? Perennial advantage. There's nothing really to share here now except keep that in the back of your mind. We are starting to work with a Medicare Advantage plan that we believe will benefit residents and Frederick Living in the long run. I truly don't have a ton of information to share. We have had an initial conversation and an initial meeting. I just want to plant that seed in your head now, because we'll talk about it a little bit more in the fall, and then we'll talk about it a little bit more in December when decisions are made for the following year with regard to choosing a Medicare Advantage plan, if that's something you want to do. So I would love to have more information and a lot of detail for you, but I just want to plant that seed in your head so that when the time comes up, it's not entirely fresh or entirely new. Okay? Lastly, couple of continued updates, continued conversations as it relates to developments on campus. Our space here, the body shop space, again, what we are waiting on is the delivery and installation of the rooftop HVAC system. Doing a lot of work on the rest of that space without that in place doesn't make a whole lot of sense. So once that delivers and is installed, which August continues to be the month that we are honing in on, that we believe that that will occur. Once that is done, the rest of the work in that space should take somewhere between 2 and 3 months. So our hope is that sometime between Halloween and Thanksgiving, that space is going to be complete. I would like to have a little bit of a ribbon cutting ceremony at that point in time to acknowledge for everyone. I think it's a nice little celebration. I'm terrible at planning events, so I'm going to lean on a lot of people to get that done. But I think that'll be a nice idea. And ice cream. Yes, Dan, we will have ice cream. And as far as the additional campus planning is concerned, meaning the plans that we submitted to Upper Frederick Township. So no very new news since the last time I was up here. We submitted a plan to the Upper Frederick Planning Commission. And what that plan had on it was a couple of new cottages, kind of right on the backside of your guys' street there, and mainly an apartment building, a 45-unit apartment building that is in the main grass area here, that comes off of essentially the middle of Oak Tree. Nothing new from what we have presented to you previously, but this was the official proposal that we submitted to the township. We had a meeting with the Upper Frederick Planning Commission, our first official public meeting with them in mid-June. Everything appeared to go well. We were up there for about 10 minutes, as we discussed. No earthquakes, no picket signs outside from, township residents who are upset at us. And our hope is that in the August meeting, that information is reviewed again and hopefully approved by the Planning Commission. At that point in time, if that were to occur, the next and final steps would be review and approval by the Board of Supervisors for Upper Frederick Township. So from all reports, things are moving along well, but if things change in one way or another, we will let you know. But that's where things stand for the new developments on campus. I believe that is all we wanted to share today, but certainly we are here for questions, comments, concerns, compliments.
With the new gym, construction and everything, does that also include equipment upgrades?
It sure does. The new therapy and body shop space so as we were looking at this, we have FF&Es, right? Anyone know what FF&Es stands for? I always get this wrong. A full-time equivalent? No, that's FTE. FF&E is furnishings, fixtures, and I always forget what the E is. Equipment. Someone said equipment. So, as part of our FF&E review, we looked at everything that we have in the second floor therapy space, as well as what's in the body shop. And we took an honest look at it and we said, okay, we're getting a brand new space. Do we really want really old equipment in the brand new space? That really doesn't really go well now, does it? Well, Dan said we're really old people. Dan said that. I didn't say that. Dan said that. So in reality, no, that doesn't make a lot of sense. We have this beautiful new space. We don't necessarily want well-loved older equipment. So a vast majority of the items in there will be new. There's a couple of things that are a few years old that are in good shape that we are going to move. We don't want to be foolish about it, but a majority are going to be new.
Question about the cottages. When I was talking to the architect, he said there was a cottage, and then there was a modified quad. Then there was another cottage, and then there was another modified quad. And then they would face basically the backyards because the road would go between the two sets of them, one facing the berm. Is the berm going to stay there, or are they going to take the berm out? You don't know yet, right?
So what I can say is from an actual physical plan perspective, what is much farther down the road is the apartment complex. We know a lot in terms of what the exterior would look like, what the interiors would look like, how many units we have, et cetera, et cetera. What we have truly less information on are the types and style of cottages, both out here and kind of in the space near Aspen and the pond. What we're aiming to do with the township, realistically, is to get one plan approved. But a vast majority of what that is, when it comes to those two other spaces, is the stormwater management, civil engineering type things. So we have the amount of units that we would like in the space, and we have an idea of what they could look like. But truth be told, that's where we are at the moment. So I can't really answer that.
Can you use any of the information that you have? They already did that when they were going to put the apartment buildings in. They did all those studies. Can you use those studies?
For land use planning, things of that nature, we are using as many of the older studies, approved older studies that we can. Some are relevant, some are not. But yet we aim to do that at every turn.
A little bit ago, we talked about the speed limit here in Frederick. And if I remember, I think Garden Spot indicated their speed limit was 20 miles an hour. And ours was 10, and you were going to look into perhaps, if nothing else, maybe between a middle of the road, because 10 mile an hour might be a bit, good word, Judy, antiquated. So, so I was wondering where we are with that.
We haven't done much. The only thing that we've done in addition is continue with reminders of what the speed limit is. You can see that on Touchdown. You can see things of that nature. The only thing it would really, well, I don't know the answer to that of what it would really be. Is there some sort of regulatory piece that would be required for that? That's one that we can ask. You know, is it something where you just post it and that's the speed limit? Or do we have to go to the Department of Transportation to say, here is an official speed limit? I'm not entirely sure. But that's something that we can peek around a little bit. Interesting note, my daughter had soccer practice a few months ago at Dock Mennonite Academy, which is attached to Dock Woods, which is one of our sister communities in the area. And their speed limit on campus is 17 miles an hour. Next time I see their executive director of that campus, I'm going to ask, what in the world were you thinking with 17 miles an hour? But I would think it's eye-catching and you remember it. So that's probably why.
I was just wondering what's going on with the boiler in the Oak Tree apartments. Could you give us an update what's going on there?
Sure.
Yeah, but it's going to be off next week, and you were talking about it. I don't know what's going on.
Oak Tree boilers. So you think about hot water?
Yeah, they're going to shut us down.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So the hot water is that there's a mixing, what is called a mixing valve, where the hot water, we create like 150-degree hot water, and we had to mix it, bring it down for usable, because some of it, like the kitchen needs high temperature, the laundry needs high temperature, and other places. But then for apartment use, we need to bring it down. So there's what is called a mixing valve. That you got hot water and cold water coming in. That has to get replaced because it's not regulating the water. I know some of you probably noticed this week that was like up and down, up and down. So we determined that that mixing valve needs to get replaced. So that's why that is getting, that's why the hot water is getting shut down next week.
How long is it going to be shut down?
A couple hours maybe, yeah. And then the boilers, yes, they are oil boilers, and they're on the schedule for replacement, but not this year. We are actually replacing boilers on Magnolia that heats up the water. The boilers in Oak Tree is only for heating of the building. So the hot water that you get is from boilers in Magnolia, and we are replacing, we're starting the project on that this year.
Some of us on the patio apartments, we were just wondering, sometimes when you work on water, we still have water. Now on the 9th, are we going to be shut down too? Is Aspen, because I know we get water from this one. It comes over to us, right? So are we going to be shut down too?
No. So each building has their own water regulations. So each building has their own mixing valve. So the one in Aspen is working fine.
So we'll still have water.
Yes.
We're on the level.
Unless something else happens that we need to shut water in for the general.
Water too, and it just is a big question mark.
Yes.
Are we going to have water?
Yeah.
Or are we not going to have water?
Well, let me rephrase that. As far as I know, the water in Aspen is not affected by the water. The hot water in Aspen is not affected by the hot water in Oak Tree, as far as I know. But there's always the question mark.
I do enjoy when you say some of us in the patio homes. There's all 4 patio homes. So, I mean,
But Aspen has the water too, so.
Has Frederick got a hold of the state about the speedway we have out here front? Because now that it's been macadam, I saw a car headlights, and I pulled out, and he was on my butt, and he had to be at least a half mile down the road. They're even going faster now. Could they reduce it to 45? It's 50 right now. Or get a blinking light or do something.
perhaps 47 miles an hour will do the trick. If we're in the process of reaching out related to some other items on speed limit on our campus, we can do that adjacent to our campus as well.
Another courtyard question. Larry and I have been here about a year and a half. In that time, I think 6 people have asked me why they're not allowed in the courtyard. And the thing that's confusing them is there's a sign on each of the doors that says not an exit, which only means that if you go out there, you can't get off campus. Like if there were a fire and you went out there, you wouldn't be able to actually get away from the building. I'm just wondering, is there some way we could notify people, put up another, now those signs have to stay, I understand, but could we put something friendly with it, or put it up on the TVs, or put it in writing somewhere to let people know that you don't have to have a special event, just come out and walk around?
So, yes, I think so. I think that there should be and can be a simple and creative way to be respectful of the Department of Human Services requirements and still get the message across. We can do some thinking internally to see what that could be. The overarching issue that we are up against, and you can, if you're sitting close enough to this door, you can see that red not an exit sign that Pam is referencing. The Department of Human Services, which licenses the Magnolia House building for personal care, has a regulatory requirement, a law that states if you have a door that does not allow you exit from the building, and they say exit from the building does not occur if it is fenced in, then you have to notify people by having those signs, by telling them this is not an exit. Well, how does that help someone that wants to go out in the courtyard? It doesn't. So to your point, I think there might be and should be a simple and creative way to get both messages across. We'll think about it internally and see what we can do.
Just change the sign so it says not a building exit.
Now that is a logical thing, but when we have regulators in the building who are, out with their pencil, they're not always logical people. They are rule followers. We disagree at times.
Are all the other doors locked for a reason? Is that mandatory? That you can only get in through the Magnolia if you get back in if you're in the courtyard? If you're over on the other end, you can't get through that door.
Are you referencing the kind of door that used to be connected to Cedarwood? That it's kind of a dead space, so we do have it locked just for that particular reason. Let us look into that one. It's kind of an oddity of a space now that that building has come down, and we're still trying to figure out exactly what to do with it. So let us think that one through a little bit more.
The information session on Mohi, the trip to Africa, is also on next Thursday, 11 o'clock. And we've been moved to the fireside. So if you'd like to join her, hear about the Africa trip to Mohi, you can come there. and forego the memory course.
A little competition never hurt anybody, right? Well, if nothing else is on the tip of anyone's tongue, we didn't do too bad today, a little over 40 minutes. I would like to wish you all a happy 4th of July. Stay cool, enjoy yourselves, and we will see you soon. Thank you.